Looks like we have Venus over my shoulder. I don't know if you can see it yet. Anyways, so, hello and welcome to another installment of the Photon Collector. I should probably get a bit closer to the camera so you can see me. Now, tonight isn't exactly an ideal night for doing this. It is a dead full moon, but my plan is to get some images of the moon, but I also thought I would go for M13, the globular cluster, or pardon me, the Great Globular Cluster in Hercules, because I figured, you know, it's a globular cluster, full moon, it's super bright, it should be all right with short exposures. So, hoping that'll work out. Now, I'm also trying out a bunch of new stuff, software-wise tonight. I have ditched the hand controller on the HEQ5. I'm sorry, Trevor, I know you love the hand controller, but what can I say? Anyways, it took me a while to get the drivers for that sorted out, but I got that working nicely now. And I'm also making the switch from APT to Nina because I've been looking at that software and it does seem to have some pretty significant advantages over APT. So I thought I would try that out. Now, thankfully, it doesn't. I've tested everything talks to each other, everything connects and all that, so it should be okay. I don't know if the plate solving is going to work out all right, but we'll see. So hopefully that'll work because Nina has this amazing mosaic capability. I'm sure Sequence Generator Pro has that too, but I can't afford that. But I was really wanting, when the summer comes around, to do some mosaics of some of the larger nebula, maybe in Cygnus, although I worked that out with my scope, and that would be something like a 6x6 mosaic. That would take forever, and there is a lot of stuff I want to image this summer, so probably won't be spending that much time on something like the North American Nebula. However, doing something like a 2x2 or maybe a 3x3 of Lagoon and the Trifid would be interesting. But anyways, we're just waiting for it to get dark, and then look, it's Venus. I don't know if it's because everyone's got to see Venus. Well, it's been an interesting night. The moon is so bright. It's the supermoon right now, so imaging is going to be a bit interesting. But my main goal for tonight was just sorting out these new things like Nina, which has worked so well. Like, I had no problems connecting my scope or my camera, setting things up. The plate solving was so much better than APT. Although that's not really a mark against APT because I never actually set it up properly in APT. I was just using the blind solve, whereas now I am using ASTAP. But yeah, I've got a M13 on the screen right now from a 30-second exposure, and I think I'm going to set up a run on that and see how it goes. This will probably be a short video because I'm not really sure what to add to all of this.
I spent a lot of time tonight thinking about my plans for all the tasty summer targets, and of course working around the fact that during the summer the nights are pretty darn short at these latitudes. For some of those large summer targets, I've been wanting to begin getting into wider field imaging. I guess I did things a bit backwards with my journey into astrophotography, starting out at 800mm focal length and then working my way back, I guess. Originally, I was looking at the usual stuff from William Optics or Orion or whatever other modern telescope stuff. However, recently I had taken a bit of a foray into film photography with some old Eastern block lenses. I had originally written these off for astrophotography. However, I recently found some images with a few lenses I've been really interested in, and I was really impressed with them. Plus, they're extremely affordable compared to the alternative, averaging like $100 to $200. The two lenses I'm most interested in are the Soviet Ter 3 300mm and the East German Zeiss 135mm. In the astrophotography images I've seen, they certainly aren't as sterile and clean looking as modern lenses, but the quote flaws they do have add a sort of stylistic charm to them.
I really need to get a screen capture software for this laptop, but this is how things are looking. I'm quite fond of this Nina program because, well, get lots of data, and I like my data. HFR, star count, lots of other things, and it unifies everything nicely into one program, and I found it very easy to set up. So I know a lot of people have been talking about Nina lately, and I can say it's certainly worth the switch from other ones. Maybe not Sequence Generator Pro, but on the other hand, maybe, because it is open source, so everyone can make, you know, consoles and stuff for it, which might eventually make it more versatile than SGP. Interesting stuff, though. Alright, well, I'm done doing those exposures on the Great Globular Cluster and Hercules, or Messier 13. Not sure how they turned out. My guiding was a bit weird in some areas. I tried to, when I was balancing it so there was a slight bias on the right ascension, because I've heard that's sometimes a good thing to do for making the guiding better, but I have a feeling with a telescope as heavy as mine on an HEQ5, and I'm pretty close to the weight limit, I'd imagine, it's better to just balance it normally, I'm thinking. But all in all, I don't think it turned out too badly. So now I'm going to slew this whole thing over to that big, bright supermoon that is ruining all my long exposure shots. So if you can't beat them, join them. So I ran into a bit of a problem for imaging the moon because from what I could find, Nina didn't really have any planetary imaging stuff, and I do have SharpCat, but you need to do all this stuff to get it to work with a DSLR, and of course that went out. And I don't feel like doing that out here, messing with stuff. So I'll figure that out at a later time. So for shooting the moon, I just decided to do it with the camera and cut the computer out of the equation.
All in all, I would consider tonight a success, since my main goal was merely to make sure anything new I have added or changed on my rig was working alright. That said, it may have been a poor night for imaging with that full moon, but I'm happy with the images I was able to get out of it. So, until next time, thanks for watching, and if you feel so inclined, please like and subscribe, and enjoy the images.